Hi, welcome to Alaskan and the Philippines. Today I thought I'd talk about transportation in Asia, as much as I know of it anyway, a few places I've been. But let me start off with the Philippines. When you get off your jet, wherever you fly into in the Philippines, you're going to land at Cebu or Manila or Clark, I guess. I'd have no experience with Clark. But once you get land, you're going to need to find if you're if you're not staying right in Cebu or Manila, you're gonna have to find your way to the domestic terminal. Sometimes, like in Manila, they'll have a shuttle, but it'll better have a bunch of time ahead of time, because it could be a long drive to your other next flight. So plan plenty of time, like many hours, 6-8 hours ahead, if you got a domestic flight going onward. That's only if you land in Manila. And they're going to try to talk you into taking a cab too when you get down. If they did me when I landed in Manila, I tried to get onto my connecting flight to Cebu or Dumaguete, Cebu, and they told me, "Oh, you probably won't make it. I don't know when the next bus is coming for the transport to the next terminal." I had to go to like terminal 3 or 4. There's a bunch of terminals. So it was kind of a nightmare. And I sat there and ho-hummed about what I was going to do. And the guy was saying, "Yeah, there's cabs right out here. You might want to take a cab." He was trying to talk me into taking a cab. I didn't ask how much or nothing. I thought about it. And then just as soon as I was standing there, the bus pulled up. He probably knew it when it was coming. He just wanted me to get kickbacks from the cab drivers, probably. But anyway, yeah. Now, if you fly into Cebu, same deal. You can actually walk to the terminal. Actually, that's a better deal. The Cebu airport is pretty nice. Cebu it's a sane Mactan. That Mactan airport's top rated. It looks real nice inside. It's like a big mall. Brand new. Everything's brand new. It's not congested. You can walk right through it, get through immigration real easy, quickly. It's very efficient. It's got some nice restaurants, food places in there. So yeah, you get off in Cebu. But then again, if you have a connecting flight, you got to walk to the domestic terminal. And that domestic terminal there in Cebu Mactan is pretty chaotic. They've redone it since I've been there. When I first started going there, it was pretty rough shape. I mean, real rough, and it was very crowded, overcrowded. The building is way too small. They have since renovated it and put in some Jollibee and some more shops and extended it, but it's still too small. You go in there, you can't get a seat. The whole terminal, every chair in that place is full, and you don't want to take one up. People are sitting on the floor and everything. And it's just very packed with people, and they got a PA system that's just constantly calling out names and numbers of people that are missing their flights and late flights and rescheduled flights and new boarding gates, and it's just a constant yakking through the intercom, and your ears hurt after about 15 minutes of it. You'll have to wait for a while. But anyway, okay, so you catch your flight out of Cebu, and say you're going to Dumaguete. That's what I know. I've done other places, but we'll call it that. So going to Dumaguete, you're going to go out you're going to get another flight out of the domestic terminal. They leave at like 6 o'clock in the evening, so you're going to get there right at board, and it's only a real short hop flight, and it's real cheap. It's all flights around Dumaguete are real cheap. You can also take a ferry, and that's even cheaper. It was probably only $10 on the ferry, but it's slow and it'll be cumbersome. I've never done it. I've taken the ferry before, but never to Cebu. So anyway, you get on, say you're flying. So you get on your ticket's only like $30. Cebu Pacific flies out of there a lot. So that's the main one there. Philippines Air too, but mostly Cebu Pacific flies around the Visayas islands down there. So they fly all over. But anyway, yeah, you grab your flight and you get off in the Dumaguete airport, and that's even a smaller airport, and it's pretty packed and congested too, real small. And you walk through that, and you get out there, and then the only transportation is trikes. Your only option. They can probably have vans too. You can probably hire a van. There might be some vans sitting around, but I've never noticed them. It's just a whole parking lot full of trikes, and they're all across the street. That's a motorcycle with a sidecar with a canopy built over it, and it's big. It'll haul your luggage and stuff, as long as you just got a couple of suitcases or something. Well, they'll stack them up on the roof and everything, so don't worry about that part. But there's a big competition for these trike drivers to get you to get in their trike, and they have a kind of a pecking order. It used to be just a free-for-all. They wouldn't even let me go out across the street to them. They were afraid for me. That's how aggressive them trike drivers are. They say, do you have a ride? Because they won't let you out of the airport there if you don't have a ride lined up. And if you don't have a ride lined up, they'll line you up one up. They'll get you a trike, and you'll ask him. He'll bring the trike driver over, and he'll escort you to his trike. And all the other ones, there used to be just a bidding where you could walk up to one, they'd say 400, and then you just walk to the next one, 300. But now they give you a trike driver. And when I walked with the trike driver over to his trike, I said, how much? He said $250. I thought, yeah, it's usually about 200, but that's okay, extra 50. You just want to get out of there anyway. You're not going to worry about it too much because you're tired and you want to get to your hotel. You ain't going to bicker for $1.50, So yeah, okay, and I get on the trike, and he's bringing me to town. It's quite a way, so 250 pesos is like $5 bucks maybe. So it's still pretty cheap. And you get in there, and when he was driving out of the parking lot, he drove by that guy that got him to get me, and he handed him 50 pesos. So I smiled. I said, "Is your buddy?" He has his kickback, for getting him. So we drove you to your hotel or whatever, and then from that hotel or wherever, when you want to get around town and do Maggetti anyway, it's trike only. You just go out on the road, you stand there, and there's trikes. There's plenty of them. Unless you're out in a weird place and out in the country or something, then you're going to have trouble. Then you got to charter one, and then you got to talk them into a price. But otherwise, you just go out on the road. If say you're in the Bethel Hotel right there in Dumaguete on the boardwalk, and you want to go somewhere, you walk out on the road. If it's somewhere in town, and it ain't this in Asia, it's this. Thailand, same way. You want someone to come, you raise your hand, they'll kind of know what you want. But if you want to make sure you're not waving to them, do this. And they'll come pull right in, and it's 20 pesos in town. It's been that way for years, even though the price of fuel and food and everything else went up. I feel sorry for those poor trike drivers. It's still only 20 pesos, and that's like 30 cents or something like that, 35 cents. And yeah, you can jump in. There'll be other passengers too, so you just tell him where you're going, and if he's going there, he'll shake his head and tell you to get in. But sometimes they'll just drive right away because they're not going in that direction. They won't say no or anything. They'll just drive away. So that you'll be standing there, what? But yeah, you pull up and you say Robinson's Mall, and they'll just drive away. So that's how you do it. And there'll be other passengers. They sit on the back seat. They'll load them up too, man. You'll really pack them trikes up to like 6 people, 8 of them, and they're all paying 20 pesos. But say you live out of town a little ways, or out in not even out of town, but just out in an area where they don't normally go. When you're going home, like if you went shopping, you got to go home and you got a bunch of groceries and stuff, you got to charter a trike. You'll go out, there'll be a whole line of them right outside the Robinson's Mall and Lee Plaza. Then you got to bicker with them on how much to get home. For me, when I lived in Condoy, it's about halfway to Valencia, I used to offer them a $150 to go home. That's $3 or something. They'd do it for a $150. But yeah, you don't get the 20 peso ride. Like I can get into town on 20 pesos sometimes. A lot of them would try to hit you up for a little extra, but everybody else was just paying 20. So if you get in, just pay 20, you'll get by. I always gave them a little extra. It's such little amount. I usually gave them 20 or 30 or 40 sometimes. But yeah, and that's how you get around. And there's the ferry system there too. You can jump on a ferry. It's rather cheap. You can go to the other islands. I did it once to Siquijor. I got on the ferry, and it was so cheap. It's just less than $8. I can't remember the exact price. But yeah, you can go to Cebu too on them ferries, but they take a while. There's a fast ferry that costs a little more, and then there's a slow ferry that costs quite a bit less. I took the Ocean Jet, they call that. That's the fast ferry. That one cruises pretty good. It's nice, and it's got nice, comfortable chairs. Get the There's a first class, so you can get up in the air condition. It's got nice big comfort padded seats and stuff, leather chairs. It's really nice in the upper level if you get the first class, and it ain't very much, extra buck or two. So you always get that one if you're in the ferry system. Get the ocean jet. That's the quick one too. Yeah, but other than that, in Dumaguete, that's what I'm saying. You can rent a van. You can rent some vans there and stuff. The people will have a driver and everything for you, and it ain't too bad. For like $50 you can get a $30-40 you can get a guy driver all day and have him bring you around, go travel around. I did it, went around Negros, drove around different areas and saw a bunch of stuff. It was pretty cool. Didn't cost much at all, $50 I think, all day. They must probably use that, half that in gas, you know, it seems to me. But yeah, that's the only ways to get around in Dumaguete area that I know of anyway. And that's nice. But okay, now I'm flying over to Thailand, you know, you can get a flight right into Bangkok. And from Bangkok, when you need to travel somewhere, it's cheap. If you know how to get on the rail line, they got a rail line that goes through Bangkok and some of the other areas around Bangkok. I never did ride it, the BT Express or whatever it's called. I never did ride it. You can get tokens. I'm sure it's pretty self-explanatory. You buy a ticket and get on, find your gate. And then here down, what I did is I got on a bus, and the bus was so cheap. It was like less than $10 for the 4 or 5 hour ride. It's a couple hundred miles, a few hundred miles. So down here to Hoi Hin, and that was so cheap too. That was only like less than $10, $9 or something. And they have train service that comes in here. They have 2 different trains. One's a faster train, and it's cheap too. I don't know how much that is. It's pretty, I don't know how much exactly that is, but I know the old train, they got an old train, and that thing is super cheap, like $1.60 or something to get to Bangkok. But yeah, but that's going to get you to the Bangkok train station too. That don't mean that's at the airport. So you'll have to, if you were in Bangkok, you'd have to get to the train station. I'm not sure where that is. There is a train station downstairs on the new one. So yeah, there is the new train station there. I don't know where the old one would get you off at. But anyway, yeah, I got on a bus, and the bus ride's nice, comfortable, air conditioned, plenty of leg room. They give you a bottle of water, snacks. They did, and reclining seats that go way back, padded, thick seats. It's really nice bus. It actually was cold in it, so you might want to bring a sweater for that ride. And it was nice. You could sleep. It had curtains they could close if it was in the morning. So that bus only runs from starting at 7:30. So if you get in on a red eye express in the middle of the night like I did, you're gonna have to wait all night until morning for the ticket agent to open up the booth. But it's downstairs on the first level, all the way back to the far end of the place. You can hang out there. There'll be people hanging out there. That's what I did, hang out there all night and get coffee. And there's a junk food place, really nice, 7-Eleven, probably the nicest 7-Eleven I ever been in, right down there. Snack place, had everything you can think of in Bangkok there. But yeah, and then now to travel around here, Hoi Hin, they got a bot bus. If you're going there's a main road that goes along the beach for miles up the town. The whole town is on a main road, and you can catch these bot buses that are going in either direction, and 20 baht most places. But if you get to the station where they have to trade buses, you have to trade bot buses. They're just like Toyota Cruisers with a canopy on and racks, and they actually stand right on the back too. They have bars you can hang on and a platform like a fire truck, you just hang on. They pack them full too. But yeah, they're 20 baht, and that's 60 cents. So that's a real cheap way to travel too. And a lot of people use them. I see they're packed nowadays with all the high season going on. The locals use it too to get to school and stuff. They pack on them. It's cheap transportation. Otherwise, then you got Grab. They got these Grab bikes that are all over the place. You'll see them parked just waiting there. Taxis waiting all over the place. Pickup truck taxis, all kinds of car taxis. They'll just be sitting there with a chair on the street with a cardboard sign, taxi for hire. And to go to like Bangkok, it's around 1,700 baht, so that's like $45 or something like that. So you can jump right on, and they'll bring you right to the airport, you yourself, and it's a long drive. So $45 for going all the way to Bangkok, still pretty cheap to hire a taxi. So that's about the going rate. From here I've been seeing the signs around town. And then you can get on the Grab app, and that's a good app for here. You can order food, of course, but you can order your transportation just where you are, put your PIN wherever you want to go, push go, and you'll have a driver here within 5-10 minutes, almost always. They're really quick to pick me up here where I am. And they would bring me out to the hospital. I've only used them to go to the hospital, and that's probably about a 5-mile drive, 4 miles, I bet. And it's only cost me $3, 110 pesos usually, 120 pesos, or not pesos, but I'm getting confused again. 120 baht, so that's pretty cheap. $3, 350, 320 or something like that. So it ain't bad, that 360 maybe. That's pretty cheap ride. And one time then I could get the baht bus going back for 20 baht, but it would stop and I'd have to get on a new bus and give that driver another 20 baht. So that was 40 baht to come home on a baht bus from the hospital, which was about 4 miles. It's quite a ways out there. And then one time I didn't take the baht bus, and I was walking. I figured I'd just get a taxi along the way, and I come across this Grab bike driver sleeping. It was early in the morning still, and he was just napping. I woke him up. Hey, you gonna give me a ride? Yeah, get on. How much? 50 baht, anywhere. And he goes, no, I mean 500 baht. He's joking me. He was like he was gonna rip me off, pretending he was gonna scam me. 500 baht, and I laughed and patted him, and I jumped on. He brought me there all the way right up to the 7-Eleven. That's as far as I wanted to go. And I was going to walk the rest, but it's, like I say, a 4-mile drive, and that was 50 baht. That's all he charged me was 50 baht. That's $1.50. I gave him 100 baht. That's $3. Really made his day. Wow, thank you. When you tip him like that, 100 baht, $3. So, yeah, the Grab motorcycles are pretty cheap, and they're fast to get through traffic or something. If you're in Bangkok, that's probably what you want. If you don't have a lot of luggage or stuff to carry around, if you're just getting the place to A to B, I'd jump on one of them motorcycles because they weave in through the traffic and they go right up to the front of the line at the stoplights, if there's stoplights. Yeah, but in Dumaguete, don't worry about that. There's no stoplights or traffic lights there. You don't have to worry about that. Yeah, and remember also, you can rent cars and bikes here in Thailand, and you can in Philippines too. That's something I should have forgot to mention. Rent you a scooter if you trust your life with other people that are crazy drivers. Go ahead. So here it ain't so bad, but yeah, you can rent scooters or rent a car rentals here. But keep in mind, here in Thailand, all the cars are the drivers on the right side. It's kind of strange, and you'll be driving on the left side of the road. So you picture you driving in a car on the passenger side, driving down the wrong side of the road. So if you're comfortable doing that, go ahead and rent a car. Otherwise, I'd recommend you ride around here for a while and get used to it, driving or walking or riding with other people before you actually try that. And everybody just jumps on a scooter. It probably, for me, I think I could do it, but then I know in my first instinct, even when the traffic is coming and I'm walking, I'm in a jam, I always jump to the wrong side of the road thinking I'm going to be safe there. So I know if I ever got into a traffic, I'd probably go over on the wrong side and hit them head on or something. I don't know. I will start driving maybe eventually, but if I don't have to, I don't. And I want to keep my exercise going. This is really helping with my exercise. I'm eating good, and I want to burn off what I'm eating too much of, so that helps. But yeah, those are just a few transportation things I thought I'd talk about. And again, here in Hue Hin, there's just traffic, cabs everywhere, parks sitting there waiting for you to just, they'll ask you when you go by, they catcall you. You want a taxi, sir? Tuk-tuk. They have tuk-tuks here too, three-wheelers. Oh, and I should mention some other forms. I see some different, there's little electric cars. They're like little clown cars. I see an old man down here. He's got one of them, and he drives that around. It's an electric thing. It goes really slow, really cool little car. I don't know how much they are, but he parks it here. I think it's electric. I never see him plugging it in, but maybe he must. It looks electric, and it makes no noise, so it's got to be electric. So yeah, maybe he plugs it in somewhere I don't see it. But anyway, yeah. And then I've been seeing strange motorcycles too. I see a motorcycle drive by, just a regular scooter. It had 2 front tires though. So I don't know what the idea behind that. 1 back tire and 2 front tires, a regular scooter. Like I don't know, it was custom made or nothing, something. And then this morning, I was walking and I seen one with training wheels, an actual scooter with aftermarket training, with big training wheels on it too, coming off both sides, and an old man was riding it. I thought, wow, what a great idea, training wheels on. I could ride that. I've driven motorcycles my whole life. I just don't think this is a good place to try. But I will eventually, but yeah. And another weird thing I seen this morning too, I was walking down the path by the train tracks. I got off the main road. I was tired of walking on the road, and I walked down the train track path. It's kind of a long, nice walk. And here come a guy on a scooter coming up, and he had a drone following him. I don't know how he was doing it, if he was driving and doing a drone at the same time, or had it, maybe there's a follow button that they have on those drones. But that freaked me out. He had a drone following right behind me, driving down the road, and this drone following wherever he'd go. It was about 10 feet behind him. He must have got me in the video. He passed right by me, and the drone went right. I looked up, what is that? Right above my head, not very high. Just a little ways above my head, that drone was following him. I survived to live in the 21st century. It's getting crazy. The Jetsons pretty soon. It's pretty neat here. It's high, everything. I lived in the bush for so long. When I come out into society now, it's I'm seeing all this technology, and it's still blowing my mind. To walk out of the door here, I just walk up like Star Trek, and I don't touch all of the doors here like that. You hardly ever open a door. You just put your palm up close to it, and it senses it, and it's sliding doors. All these doors, malls, even in the, well, not just the malls, but this complex too. You just slide up, and it's just like going through like Star Trek. But anyway, getting off topic again. That's the transportation as far as I know. If any of you guys know more and want to add to it, feel free. It helps the other guys in the comments that are moving over. So thanks for watching. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.